How do you create a brand, a strong brand for a small company just starting out? All right, do you mind if I tell you a story? All right, so let's say that you and I are at a party, and I'm saying to you, hey, do you know who Taylor Swift is? And you say, never heard of her. And so I say, oh, you don't? Well, you got to meet her. She's actually right over there. And you look over there and you see her, and she's blonde and she's pretty and she's dressed up really nice. And you say, wow, she's really cute. And I said, yeah, she is. And you know what? She is. She's very cute. She's very fun. She's friendly, and you should go meet her. And so you do. You take a couple breaths and you walk across the room, and you're like, hey, I'm Bob. And and she goes, I'm Taylor Swift. And you say, I know. My buddy just told me about you. So you get to know her, and you find out that she's not only funny and cute and all these things, but you find out she's got strong values. You find that she's into her friends and family, and she likes to be treated with respect, and she likes to celebrate people's victories, and you learn all these amazing things about her. So, after your conversation with her, you come back to me and you say, wow, I was really blown away. I said, I told you should meet her. So in this example that I give you, this metaphor, it's very similar for new businesses starting out. And the new business would be Taylor Swift, and the customer would be you, Bob. And so if you're just starting out and you're thinking about branding and how you create a strong brand, you first have to understand that branding is really only half of what a new company can control. The other half is in the customer. And so if you think about what branding means, it means renting out a space in someone's mind. And maybe not renting is the good word, but occupying a space in someone's mind where they think about you. And it's about forming a relationship. And so in this relationship, you only control half of it. And it's what you present and how you interact with the other person, the customer. And it's, in the sense, branding is about building this relationship and conveying what you want to convey, and that's all you can control in the situation. The rest is up to the customer. So what can you do as a small business to start out and make a strong brand? The first thing is understanding your core values. And your core values are what is instrumental to you as an entrepreneur, and also instrumental to why the business decides to do what they do. So if you're the only owner and you're operating under your core values and your company are the same, oftentimes that creates a very strong entity as a business, because you are conveying who you are as a person. If you're teaming up with multiple owners, you got to decide as a group, what are your core values? So you sit down, you figure out what your core values are that you want to have as an entity. And oftentimes those are conveyed from the person to the company. But as a company, you agree that these are the core values. These are things that we stand for. These are the things that if a customer asked us to do something and they went against our core values, we would say, no, I'm not going to do it. Right? And from there, you create your mission statement, and that guides a lot of the actions that you do. So the first step is to understand your core values and why you're in business, and create a mission statement from there. The second step is to make an impression. And just like in the example where Taylor Swift was across the room, have you ever seen her not dressed up, not looking good? She seems to always be looking good. So in that same reference, what are you doing as a company to make yourself look good? Because that first impression is often the only time that you get to interact with somebody. And when somebody's making an initial perception of what you are as a company, that's the first time you occupy that space in someone's mind. And so you want to make a great first impression. And that comes from your logo and your business name, and how you're dressed up, whether that's on your website or your storefront or your employees or whatever is that first impression, because they're not going to approach you and start to use you if they don't feel comfortable and or at least interested in getting to know you. I mean, it helps if you have other friends tell the customers and say, you got to go meet this person. You got to go try this company, right? So it helps to have that referral and word of mouth. So the third and last thing is after you understand your core values, got your mission statement. The second thing is make a strong impression. The third thing is you really need to wow them. So when they actually go up and meet you for the first time and they're interacting with you, they may be a little hesitant. They may not have their notion of what it is that you do in their mind. So when you first interact with them one-on-one, wow them. So what they're coming in with some type of expectations. You want to give them more than what they expect. At the very least, you need to meet their expectations, which is good. They'll walk away, they're like, yeah, that business is exactly like it was described. But that might not let them tell their next friend. They're like, you really need to go meet this person. You really need to go try this company. And that comes from the expectations that they have up front. Did they meet them? Are the core values that they thought the company was about, do they meet those expectations? And if they go beyond that, oftentimes they'll go back to their friends and family and they'll tell them. And that's the start of many relationships you have. So those are the three things that I would recommend. One, understand your core values and integrate them into your business. Two, make an impression, a strong impression through everything you do. And three, when they do interact with you, wow them. All right, so hopefully that helps, and it helps you understand what are the steps to creating a strong brand for a small company. Sound good?